We are not officially back yet. Oh, we are officially back now, folks. Welcome. I did not forget to cue us this time.
All right. So,
Smooth one, smooth one.
Thank you. Thank you. We're getting better at this. Week by week, we improve.
Passing in through the gate, they close the gate, and all sorts of varied ant workers come swarming out to start unloading the wagon for you. And Cobweb says that she's got to take care of something and leaves. And Mustard Seed is going to escort you to the grand dining hall where you will be received by the queen and her court.
Are we refreshing our stress again?
No.
No?
Okay, then.
I didn't say you're going to be fighting the queen in a sword duel. I think you can handle this. Just might be a little exhausted by the end.
Honestly, just Cobweb all along.
Yeah, we're riding on her fortune roll again.
They are giving her a bunch of good stuff, so this should be setting us up reasonably well.
I think so.
Well, yeah,
And we protected her people, though she evidently doesn't care about those very much.
Yeah. All right, and so you follow Mustard Seed into the dining hall, and there before you are. Here we go. There are three people in the room. An elf, who is standing at the side of the throne with her arms crossed, and she greets you as Princess Dewdrop. And then on the throne is an enormous dragon with prismatic scales. And she is introduced as Telephassa, the queen of this ant hive. And lastly, the guy who closes the door is a minotaur, whose name is Pebble. And the queen gestures for you and Mustard Seed to take seats at the far end of the table.
Well, I take my hat off and come in and kind of be as deferential as is appropriate under the circumstances.
I'll place my pot firmly into a seat.
Pretty pleased with this whole arrangement.
All right. And so the queen says she's very happy to receive your gifts. So that'll put 2 ticks on this 6-tick clock over here to win her favor. 3 ticks, actually, since the pies were all there and intact.
And
then...
Not lose any pies or anything.
Yeah. Solid work. Let's call that Persuade the Queen. And then she's going to say that she heard from Cobweb that about how you resisted the temptation to give any of the pies to those workers who are below who should not be asking such things of you, and so that'll give you 1 more tick on that clock. So you're almost done already.
Nice.
Right, so we're up to 5.
You've got 4 ticks on the 6-tick clock.
4 on the 6. Okay.
Yep. However, Princess Dewdrop is then going to speak up, and she says, "But Queen, you're going too easily on them. They could be spies or worse. What makes you trust them?" And so she's going to start her own 6-tick clock to dissuade the queen.
So that's a counter clock. Okay.
Yep, and it's a racing clock situation.
Got no chance. We only got to fill 2 ticks. Loser.
Yeah, well,
You know what? You are not helping at all.
Yep. So how many ticks are now on that clock?
So that's an empty 6-tick clock, but since the queen does like her favorite daughter, she'll get 2 ticks just for that argument there.
Oh, my bad. That was definitely me. That was.
All right. Well, we're still ahead now. So, Ian, could you remind us of exactly? I know you explained it in the first session, but it's been a while since then. What it is we're trying to get them to do, and what the threat is.
So the major threat, the front that your town, that the Tome of Heroes has conscripted you to deal with, is there's a band of revenants led by the Raja known as Orthane Kinslayer, and he's been terrorizing and destroying the countryside on the Earth side. And your town speculates that not only is this destroying their trading partners, but he might come through and attack you in Ildathok as well.
Right.
And so building this alliance will build up your town and give you tools to fight that.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Just good to be clear on that. So I look at the elf princess and I say, well, ma'am, that is a very good question. And I just want to say that one reason you can know that we are not spies is this mark here. And I point to the mark on my forearm that is in the shape of a pistol. And that I think you may have the ability to confirm that this is not faked, and that the rest of us also have our own version of the mark that we have been called upon by the book to rise up against the threat of the revenants who clearly threaten both our town and you. And so our alliance, in addition to these fine gifts that we've provided to you, are really in your best interest, because we want to help you, and in the process help ourselves band together against this terrible threat.
She nods, and are Irma and Grigsby going to show off their marks as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. Just kind of point it.
Irma will be like, "What's that?"
Yeah.
Because hers are freckles. So.
Right.
Yeah. Mine is where would be like a compromising position, like a tramp stamp or something. But
gosh.
You know, just...
Of course, it would be Grigsby.
I didn't ask for this. Okay, this was thrust upon me.
And the princess is going to scoff, but the queen is nodding like, that makes sense. Do you want to make an emote roll there for that?
Sure. I have no dots in the emote.
Mm-hmm. So that'll be 0D.
I do, but technically, would this be considered baiting the princess?
No, she doesn't have she's not using a focus here.
Darn. Okay. I do technically have a mode if you would prefer to assist me in making that.
Yeah, I would be happy to have that be an assist action on continuing on to explain the specific details of the threat and what we propose we can do mutually to resist it.
Yeah, so that sounds like a good way to pay 1 stress to give plus 1D.
Okay, here we go.
All right, so I'm happy to pay that 1 stress.
All right, so
5.
You got a success, so that'll put a tick on your clock, and it was a mixed success, so that'll put a tick on the princess's clock as well.
Just to tell on myself, I just realized that I'm not supposed to be able to assist with an action if I have 0 dots in it.
So you can't assist by just saying that you do the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the only restriction of that rule, is there are just too many cases where somebody says, I do the thing, and somebody else says, oh, I assist by, I'm just doing it too. And
all right, so I do have a dot in dabble, a dot in finesse.
Yeah, and dabble is perfect here because you're explaining with facts and figures and study.
Okay. So that would be how I was assisting, and
exactly.
That's rationalizing how I spent that point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just didn't want to cheat.
Of course, yeah.
Cheated.
Yep. Okay. It looks like you've almost got this one.
Irma is just thinking back of how Jacques went ahead and fluffed up the whole we were chosen by the book, and she's just thinking in her head, yeah, that's right, mustard seed. you could have been in servitude to a higher being. This right here. It's
Well,
just a little mental monologue there, and that she just kind of like a little look, a little bit of a smile comes out. It's like,
That's
on the topic of mental monologues here, so filling this clock will end the negotiation. But if you want, you could spend some ticks on this clock to add extra terms. If you wanted to make some negotiations about how they're using Lethian ink or whatever else you wanted to bring up, this would be your chance.
Ooh, out of character. Is that something we want to do?
And it doesn't have to be too out of character, because there is one setting element. Is all heroes can communicate with a secret sign language that only they know.
Guys, I could get Mustard Seed to replace my beetle.
You could ask for that favor, but you could also ask for it after we get the deal handed.
Okay. I think the little inner monologue, Irma will kind of like just smile and then immediately go into, yes, your queen. I worked heavily on making these pies for you and had but the utmost wonderful hands prepare and pick the berries themselves, and we grew them in our orchards, and you just go on and on
and
about.
She says, "Very well, bring in the pies." And the servants troop in and lay out the pies in front of her, and she says, I suppose I would eat all of them in one gulp like this. And she goes and she spills a little blood with one of her talons, and she's going to trade to one of her other bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And so in a moment, the huge prismatic dragon sort of deflates like a balloon that somebody let all the air out of. And she emerges from behind a curtain, this time in Cobweb's body. And she walks back over to the table and says, just the right size for these pies.
Yes,
and Irma's just like, I knew it.
Inner monologue. Aha! Oh no! Don't say that out loud. I will steam and stew in my pot. We'll do it that way.
And so she's gonna try the pie. Irma, you made the pie, right? So what action do you want to roll for that in the flashback of making the pie? Dabble is usually the catch-all action for anything that doesn't relate directly to adventuring.
That makes sense. I have.
Yeah, it does.
And also, I am going to add an item to it.
Okay, is it a grenade? Because this is going in a bad direction if it's a grenade.
No.
All right.
I am going to make sure that I have bait put in this, because I knew who we were going to go ahead and deliver the pies to.
Special ingredient.
Yes, a little secret ingredient there. Maybe it's nutmeg or something, or the equivalent of, who knows. Just to like really like sell home the point of like, these are the best pies you will ever have.
All right. Do you have a point of load you want to spend on having just the right ingredient?
Yes.
All right. So you check that, and then that'll get you from limited up to normal effect.
I can assist too. The dice.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to help make the pie?
Well, I'll definitely be in the kitchen and maybe be more of a pest. I'd be like,
he's doing the lattice work on top of the pies, and like Irma's like, no. You got to layer the branches like this. Get your fingers out of the pie. You gotta do it like this.
I don't even taste anything. I don't know why I'm here.
Yes, that's beautiful help. I'll take it.
All right, that'll be a risky normal dabble roll.
Oh man, where the
it'll
6
cost 1 stress. You got a 4?
I did.
All right. Well, that is enough to persuade the queen, and she goes, this is delicious. And she's
By the way, Irma is exhausted.
Yes, that took everything out of you.
That took my very last stress to do.
Oh.
I put my heart and soul in these pies.
Well,
and she says, it definitely tastes like heart and soul. And so she is going to be satisfied and persuaded. For the risky consequence, the princess will get 2 more ticks on her clock, but it is not enough. So that will bring this mission to a close. The queen agrees to the alliance. So not only does that mean that you guys get a veteran ability, like you do for every successful mission, your town also will now have a support box, which you can check off to have the ants show up. Like we discussed during the last mission, that could mean they would show up with a military force, or it could be something more specific, like lending out one of their soldiers to be somebody's beetle mount, just in theory. And lastly, for each alliance your town forms, you get +1 potential. So each of you can put 1 potential on your current character sheets, and if you make any new characters, they'll also have that +1 potential.
What does that do?
So that's that thing you can spend to get +1 to an action die permanently.
Oh.
So
Don't
if you
spend
decide
it
you
all in
want to
one
be good
place.
at finesse or barrel or something, now's your moment.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to spend it now. You can spend it when you want to use it. Okay. So I think that wraps up the session. We're well under time. If anybody wants to talk about what their characters do after or wants to give feedback, I think we're doing good.
I think Irma will go and possibly bake more food, or like give the queen like a hands-on baking pie experience,
Cool.
and to really get the little like rub elbows with the with the royalty here to get Mustard Seed to be my new
Yes, and another thing to add on there is for each alliance, there's 2 stages. There's the alliance, and then you can upgrade it to a grand alliance, and that's a much harder mission that you guys might go on next time, or you could do another Baron mission. But at some point, you will be dealing with the ants again, and that one will give you another point of potential and an epic support box, which means that they come through in a major way for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 beetles at your service.
All right, cool. That was awesome.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah, it's interesting engaging with the nemesis mechanic where, somewhere in there something terrible's going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah, it is kind of fun. And focus too is really interesting. It makes the game very like tactical.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
It came in pretty late in development, but it really brought everything together.
How long have you been working on this particular?
So I've been working on the setting for 4 or 5 years, I think. When it was originally a homebrew system. And then Blades in the Dark came out, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I played it with my friends, and I was like, wow, this is a really nice resolution mechanic. And then the Forged in the Dark framework came out, and I was like, oh, wow, this is perfect. And so I ported the entire game over to Forged in the Dark. Whenever that came out, which I want to say is 2 or 3 years ago.
Yes. Just
Yeah.
about.
Just about right when it came out, because I kickstarted Blades, and so I was with it.
Right.
And then I just ported straight over to Forged, and ever since then I've just been playtesting and refining. Because originally, it had 12 actions, it did everything just like Blades, and since then I've just been evolving on it.
Sure. Do you have plans for this other than just a homebrew game you like to play?
So what I would really like to do is get it published at some point. I've been thinking a lot about the offer Evil Hat put out for Fortune in the Dark games, because it sounds like they take care of a lot of things I haven't done. As I'm sure you've seen in the rulebook, I haven't done any of the like editing or graphics or any of that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
that's not really my interest, and so I would love a publisher who could step in and take care of that side of things.
Yeah, I've looked at that myself, and it's a really nice little feature that Evil Hat has to be able to provide that service of not only publishing it in partnership with the authors, but to also go ahead and finalize a few other details for them.
Yeah. Although last year I know they kind of publicly announced that they were in not the kind of financial shape they want to be in, and had to put a hold on a bunch of projects that they had sort of in
Right.
progress
Mhm.
with. I don't know whether they've fixed those issues,
Yeah.
but I don't know whether they're in position to sort of invest in, a bunch of different Blades system games or not.
Right. And I feel like it might be far off, but I've been working on it for this many years. I can wait, right?
Sure. Yeah,
um, and one opportunity that did seem interesting is there's the Band of Blades game that came out recently, and I've
Mhm.
heard on the forum that they're going to do an SRD for that. And I was
Mhm.
thinking that maybe Deathwish could be positioned as the first Band of Blades hack. And I've done a number of steps like replacing tier with threat
Mhm.
to sort of bring my game in alignment so that somebody coming over from Band of Blades can understand things pretty easily.
Yeah,
They're a good match in tone and stuff like that.
yeah, they
Mhm.
are. Although right now it's not quite set up in the same, campaign.
Right, right.
The cycle of play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really neat. I've read it. I haven't played it.
Yeah.
It's a really neat adaptation of the system, and it's a really nice kind of
Yeah.
move into the Black Company. I don't know if you've read the Black Company novels, but it kind of fits really nice into that
Mhm.
feel.
Yeah.
I had a really good like session 1 when I ran that because I was basically just watching what Strauss did and just kind of copying him on
Mhm.
it. But then afterwards, like session 2, I completely bombed. It made my
Aw.
players not want to play that campaign like ever again.
Aw.
Yeah, I tanked hard. Yeah,
Well, it happens.
Yep.
yeah,
I think that's the wonderful thing about GMing and whatnot is like, yeah, we all make mistakes, but being able to like pick up and learn from it, and especially as you rotate your tables and
Mhm.
whatnot with different players and different perspectives and everything, you can bring that in and be like, oh, okay. I think you can just provide a better table and environments for everyone later down the road. It's a wonderful thing, and I will have to say, Ian, I'm really enjoying the ecology aspect
Yeah.
because it kind of puts a little bit of the science a little bit
Mhm.
behind each of the actions, or like, oh, this is how this acts or mechanically functions in partnership with this. And it's just really nice to have that. It's kind of a neat little feature that you don't usually see displayed.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've done a lot of research on very weird animals to get the inspirations for a lot of
Oh
the
yeah.
how these creatures work.
And I got to say, since we're playing sort of a one, a shortish one-shotty game, it's nice to have a lot of that stuff be, it's common knowledge for your characters.
Mhm.
You just kind of explain it as it comes up. It's not something that we have to have vast amounts of research into the setting to be able to take advantage of, and I think that's worked out really nicely.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
My two favorite have been, like I said, the focus system that you brought in, as well as the
Mhm.
nemesis system. Because like the nemesis system, I feel is so elegant. You could do it for so many of these types of games where you just telegraph in the beginning of the session. By the way, we're gonna cut to this person first, and don't forget this person is lurking around and will pop up sometime in your session. And then the focus system too, just like to make it that extra little I don't know, kind of tabletopy, or like just the eye of Sauron type. That's
Yeah.
sort of how I
Yeah,
imagine it. Like
I
just
really like the icons that my friend made
yeah,
to
those
put
work
like to
really
the
well.
characters. It's like, oh, that's scary.
Mhm.
yeah. All right. Well, I guess that concludes episode 3 of Death Wish. Stick around. We still have 3 more episodes of the series. We are from the Blades in the Dark Discord server. So this is Hacked in the Dark. If you would like to stop by the server at any time, say hello. We're a friendly bunch. We love hacking the game. We love talking about the game, all of the Forge in the Dark games. So check out the info below. Before we wrap up, does anybody want to, I guess, plug anything or kind of sign off before we do?
I'll just share again that all the Deathwish rules are available on that Blades of the Dark Discord. They're in the changelog channels. If anybody wants to try testing out the system themselves, or just read through the ecology document, there's a lot of work in it, and I think it's some interesting material.
It is.
And if we haven't already said, we do have a Discord server that is very, very active, mostly for Blades in the Dark. We do have a Band of Blades, Scum and Villainy, also some other hacked and forged in the dark systems as well, being discussed and played. So if you have any questions or want to even sit in on a table a lot of times, or find a game, a lot of people go ahead and do start off and find their tables here in that server and then move off into others or ask questions and whatnot. So we're a pretty friendly bunch. We'd love to see you, and looking forward to next week.
All right.
By the way, we're going to sign off, but it's still going to stream. So if you're watching on Twitch, you can just leave technical difficulties once again.
We got it taken care of. We're going to get it turned off.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to end the meeting. Until next time, y'all.
Bye. Thanks.